Happy Wednesday. I hope you all have had a great week so far. I'm so excited to be with you guys here today to recreate this jaw-dropping sign. I'm so excited to teach you guys how to make this today. And y'all, I think this is going to be one that is going to blow you away at how easy it truly is. This is a kind of like supposed to be a faux, like a tiled sign. We have been seeing these so many places on Etsy. I see a lot of people using these types and styles at the same time. Anyway, these style signs at weddings. This could be such a cute like little baby shower welcome. And y'all, this is going to be such an inexpensive project. Yes, Annette already guessed it. OMG, did you use peel and stick tile? That is the secret sauce in today's project. Yes, we just used peel and stick tile on top of a thrifted frame. Now, let me just go ahead. This is the one that we made. I'm going to lay this one down. I'm going to grab the other frame that we got. And y'all, this is so funny. Me and Courtney went to the thrift store to get both of these. When we got this, I said, Courtney, my mother had this exact interior design, home interior picture in our house growing up. And yes, we got it at the thrift store. But I'm going to be doing this one today. And here's the thing, we're not going to be taking anything out of it. We're literally just going to be putting the peel and stick on the front of this glass. It is going to be a lot easier than you think. So with all that being said, if you are new here and you want to recreate this exact same project using the fonts that we are going to be using, and you are not a Makers Gonna Learn member, Sadie has dropped our 7-day trial of MGL Plus, and you can go ahead and sign up for 7 days. It is $7 for 7 days, but with that trial, you are going to get 20 download credits, meaning you can get 10 fonts, 10 files, 20 fonts, 20 files, whatever you want, you can mix and match. Within those 7 days, you get unlimited access to our website, including our new studio tools, which I will kind of show you guys here in a minute. We're not going to be using those today because this one is a pretty simple project. You are not late. We just got started. We've not even gone over any of the supplies yet, so you're good. But make sure you grab that $7 trial if you are not an MGL member, if you want to recreate this exact same project. So let me go ahead. I'm going to set this down and we're just going to go ahead and go overhead, and we're going to be talking about all of the supplies that you are going to be needing, you are going to use today. So first up, yes, the star of the show today is going to be this peel and stick tile. Everything that we use is going to be linked down below for you all. You do not have to get this exact same shape, this exact same color. I know specifically this tile comes in pink, it comes in like a jade green color, and it comes in this blue color. This is just what our local Lowe's had. You can also order peel and stick tile from Amazon. But this was the one that we really gravitated towards for this specific project. But you are going to need quite a few. I think we're going to use up to 5 pieces of peel and stick tile for this project. It's all going to depend on how large you want to make it. If you have a sign that is smaller, so you can see this one is pretty big. Let me actually give you the exact dimensions. If you'll give me just a second, I will lay this down, and I'm going to grab a measuring tape. Oh, come on. Hold on just a minute. I know where one's at. I grabbed it out of here the other day to film a video. Speaking of, well, I thought I knew where it was. There it is. I did set it right here. Speaking of, the video that I filmed, you all are going to definitely want to check out on Sunday. It's one that we've been waiting for. Maybe has something to do with a heat press. Okay. A contact vinyl sheet. Yes, this is peel and stick. Yes, Cheryl, this is peel and stick tile. It says peel and stick wall tile, contact, or I don't know if it says contact vinyl. It says flexible vinyl up here, but this is Smart Stick peel and stick wall tile. This would also be really pretty to do like a peel and stick wallpaper with. Like so pretty if you wanted to do a peel and stick wallpaper. We just wanted to have this tile look. So this specific one that we did is 27 by 13.5, and we did use 5 sheets of the tile. So let me just go ahead and let me zoom out just a little bit. Ooh, that's in, that's out. Let's see how large this one is. Oh, so we're sitting at closer to 28 inches this way, and for a little bit higher than 13.5, a little bit more than 13.5, but it's roughly around the same. But I will show you guys exactly how we are going to do it. Here's the tape from the price at the thrift store. I think we might have gotten this one for $1 and that one for $1. I don't know. It was very, very cheap what we got these for. So definitely check out your local thrift stores for some frames. But let's see, where was I at? Oh, I was giving you the measurements of this. Peel and stick tile, for that size we used 5 sheets. And then the other thing that you are going to need is some type of permanent vinyl. Now on here we have white vinyl, and if you want me to be honest, I currently can't find our roll of white vinyl, but I thought that this ivory would be very, very pretty as well. So we're going to try the ivory on the other one. Just get whatever color you want. For this one, it did really look good with the white because it shows up very well. And then other than that, you are going to need some transfer tape to put your vinyl down on this. And then another thing that is going to be a couple things that are going to be very important when it comes to putting this on. Number one, a true control knife. This is going to come in super, super handy because, I don't know if you all see this, but this is not completely straight all the way across. So you can see we had to cut off some of this up here. We're also going to have to separate out. You can see I've already started on this one, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So you're also going to have to cut off and separate one out, and that's what we're going to use across the bottom, because if we lay this down, you can see it only goes to about right there, and then we need like another sheet here. So we are going to be kind of cutting one of them in along the grout, the fake grout here, and then that's what's going to be our bottom piece here, okay? Now, what we are going to need for the words, we are using an MGL font here. This one is Pursuit. This is the first font we're going to be using, and then the second font we're going to be using is Estuary. I will show you how we can download those from the Makers Gonna Learn website, but before we get started, we're going to actually be applying the tile to our other frame. But before we get started, let's talk about best practices when it comes to cutting these tiles or cutting these tiles, because, and let me actually pull this one back. I think it is going to be best to go ahead and pre-cut one sheet of this tile, because we did not pre-cut on this one. And I want to, let me zoom in so you guys can see. Now, this is not that noticeable when you look at it from far off. But here is one instance where we didn't necessarily pre-cut, and you can see that it's not all the way up against the edge. That could be something that absolutely drives you insane. It does kind of me, so I thought, why not just go ahead and teach them how to cut this so that you get more of an even edge along the top. So what I have found works best is start with your scissors. This one I've already started, but I'm gonna kind of start here. So what you need to do is start with your scissors, and we want to leave the grout on the top piece because remember, we're gonna just be pretty much using the top half of all of these 3 rows. So I don't necessarily need the grout on the bottom. I'm gonna leave it on the top. So what I found works best is taking your scissors. Also, this does have a plastic covering on it here that you will have to take off. You don't necessarily have to take it off before you start cutting. I didn't, but let's just go ahead and take it off so that it kind of gets rid of that shine so you all can see better. Ooh, how are you guys doing today on this beautiful day? What are you all into? I would love to hear what you all are doing. Okay, so after I've taken that protective covering off, to start making sure getting it even, I start with my scissors really close to this, and then I cut down to that first point, okay? Now this is where it gets tricky because fussy cutting or then moving your scissors, turning them this sharp angle when there's not really enough room can be hard. So that's why a true control knife I think is very important to this project. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my true control knife and I am now just going to use it. I'm not laying it down and running it across this way. I feel like it's easier with this if you take it and kind of hold it up, and honestly almost use your true control knife to saw, and I just feel like I can control it a lot more this way. Now, once I have turned, if you still don't feel comfortable after that, now there's more room to use your scissors in here. Grab your scissors back, and then we can cut this closer to here, like that. And then kind of going back and forth. I know that sounds so silly, but sometimes when I'm using a true control knife, it can get away from me. And if I'm trying to be precise, I just feel like I have more control with scissors. So that's why I like to go back and forth. Now, this is definitely going to be the most tedious part of this project. We're also going to have to cut the tiles when we lay them down, but cutting this first is going to really, really ensure that you have a great even line across the top and you don't have those gaps like I showed you. I'm going to finish cutting this one off because it's kind of getting in my way. I didn't want to cut it all off as I was kind of trying to figure out how to teach you all the best method yesterday, because once I figured it out, I was like, nope, I got to hold on to this so that they can see how it's done. And then I'm just on this other side. And now you can see I have a lot more of an even cut across the top here. Although, what just happened there? Did that just... I really did not think that I cut that like that. Oh, that's where it stopped. I am so... Sometimes I question my intelligence. It's not supposed to go all the way over here to the edge. So that might be something we want to consider when it comes to, like, this one has the grout all the way to the edges of these, all the way to the edges of both sides, like this. So we may want this one in the middle and then use these two on either ends, if that makes sense, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and start from, we'll just go back to where we were. Go back, go back, go back. Go back to where you were. What show is that off of? I don't remember, but it's off of some child's show. So once again, I'm just cutting along the bottom edge. keeping that grout intact for the top, for this side. Then grabbing my True Control knife and kind of turning that corner. Now you can, if you want to use your True Control knife, if you feel comfortable enough and you are confident with your True Control knife, you can use your True Control knife the whole time and not have to switch back and forth. I just will say it does not look near as smooth when you do that. Dora the Explorer, that's it. Thank you. It was one that my little sister watched. And I always remember singing that. Go back, go back, go back. Go back to where you were. Okay. We are almost done cutting our bottom row apart. This one's not, this is wanting to be a little bit finicky right here. We're just going to grab our True Control knife and beautiful. Now, Annette asked, is there a reason you're separating the bottom, or are there a reason you're separating each row? We're only doing it for this one, for one piece specifically, because we want to use it as the bottom. So bringing this one back in, the reason that we're cutting it first is because you don't want to have those gaps like this. We realized after we cut it that we had the gaps, so you want to really concentrate and make sure, because you are going to have to separate one piece to use it as a straight line on the bottom, okay? So now that we have our bottom row kind of separated, I'm going to move it over to the side. Then I'm going to bring my frame in here. And now we're going to start assembling or laying our tile down. Now, if you got a thrifted frame, there is a good chance that it's going to be dirty and dusty. So this time I'm not going to forget, but we are going to, I do have some 70% isopropyl alcohol here. We're just going to grab us a paper towel and we're going to clean it. So add this to your list if you want to make this sign and you do get a dusty thrifted frame. I'm just going to kind of, look at that, yeah. I'm just going to clean this off so that we know our tile sticks really well. Oh God, it was a little bit dirtier than I thought. And then we will let that dry for just a second. But while that is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of opening up and laying out, mapping out where I'm gonna put each piece, okay? So this one, you're gonna have to make sure you line up that middle piece with the side, and I may even honestly, I may come back and cut this edge off. We'll see. But I do want to, and I do think it's very important, if you are doing this yourself, I think it's important to kind of get an idea, lay it out first, see how it's all going to fit, and then we can come back and lay it down, okay? So I may actually only be using 4. I may not have to use all 5. It's looking like I'm not going to have to use all 5. Oh, absolutely. I can definitely get by with 4. And then that one there. Nope, that one's going to go on that edge. This one's going to go here. And this one's going to go there. Okay. Beautiful. No, we are not. That's yes. Cheryl said, oh, you're just placing it on the front and not taking the picture apart. Correct. We wanted to do this the easiest way we knew how. And since it was a thrifted frame, And really, if you wanted to, you could change out the glass to take it off if you really like the frame or really like the, but yeah, we're just putting it on top of the glass. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just going to be placing it on top of the glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this edge because I lined up the tile with that edge of the frame. So I'm going to start on this, work my way this way, and then I'm going to do my bottom row. But before I start on this side, what I do need to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this and I'm going to straighten this edge up. So I'm going to cut from here down to that bottom right here. Just like that. Yep, beautiful. And then I guess I'll start from the top right here. Now, if you want to, you could measure this and make a straight line all the way down. I've gotten to where I'm doing a lot of eyeballing here recently. So I'm going to make sure that I take my protective layer off the front. Once again, I'm going to line this up over here on the side, and I'm going to make sure, I'm going to leave a little bit at the top here because we are going to come back through and cut that top edge off. And then once again, I'm just going to make sure that this is going to line up down here. And it is going to line up beautifully. Okay. I wonder if the paper cutter would help with a straight line. Okay, I'm glad you said that because we do have a paper cutter in here and we do have to cut off this top portion here. So let's just go ahead and try. I'm pretty sure Holly said that when she was doing this, the paper trimmer just did not cut. It's kind of like it scored it. It did not cut, but it did give it a score. So let's line this up straight. Let me turn it this way so I can see. Like this. Okay, so you can use a paper trimmer to kind of score, but it's not going to cut it all the way through. And then you can come back through here and we can fussy cut it across that kind of score line. Boom. So you can use your paper trimmer to get a straight edge across. And now that fits beautifully up there in the corner. And now all we have to do is take the backer off. Let me get a weeding tool and get this backer off. It's not wanting to come up for me. What is going on? It's like the paper is ripping and it's not. Oh, I got it now. Whew. Y'all, I thought I was gonna have a time with that. Okay, so now we have the back piece off and now it is sticky on that side and we are going to Get that corner straight. I didn't get my side over here completely straight. I don't know if y'all can't necessarily see it right now, but it's not 100% straight on the side. So the paper trimmer really is a good way to get that scored and get it straight. Beautiful. So now I'm just going to go ahead and move on to this piece. Now what I'm going to do for this piece is I'm going to line it up here. And you can actually, let's do it this way, because we're going to cut the same amount off the top on each one. So let's just get our paper trimmer back in here like this. Now this is going to be the easiest one because it is a it's just the full thing, like we don't have to do anything special. So I'm just going to place this in here. I need this to be this, actually, idea. I'm gonna lay this down. Take this off. I'm going to lay this down and I'm just going to make a line across where I need to cut so that it lines up where it's supposed to. Like this. I'm just going to grab a marker that's not wanting to mark very well, but we'll do, we'll grab our True Control knife. Trying to make sure it's all even. Okay, so I used my True Control knife, kind of made a little line there, but I'm gonna put it back in my paper trimmer and get like a little bit of a better score line. More so like that. Beautiful. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut across the top. Like this. Beautiful. Now look how good that lines up. Ugh. So satisfying when it does that. Now we're just removing this back piece. Woo! Sorry, guys. Bam! We're almost halfway done. This is going pretty fast. A lot faster than I think you might think it would take. Now I do think I want to go ahead and maybe work on this bottom piece just a little bit. But do you see how it kind of, okay, we're gonna have to butt that up against that pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually just going to cut this end off, but I'm going to leave all of this grout on this side because I think I had a little bit of extra room to work with. Beautiful. Just like that. And then it looks like, I'm curious to see which I like better. If I like laying it down first and then cutting it, or if I want to, because this bottom piece, I'm afraid that if I try to cut it beforehand, it's going to cut too short. So I'm just curious on how it would go if I took the backer off, put it on here, and then kind of cut it up against there. Because it really needs to go down there in that corner like that. So what I did, just so you all know, I am pulling this to get it measured correctly. I'm kind of bending this up and pushing it down in there, and then I took my True Control knife and I made just a little, you see right here, I made that little guy. So I think I am gonna go ahead and grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to, I need to go on this side. I'm going to line this up here, making sure it is straight. Beautiful. Now I'm just going to cut that extra piece on the bottom off. Now if this works, after the first one, we can just take the bottom half of it and measure the other ones with it. Like this. We do have an extra one, so we can always cut the extra one if we need to. Oh yeah, that's gonna fit down in there nicely so it looks like it's really part of it. Now it is a little bit, just a tad bit bigger, but it's okay. It's better for it to be a little bit longer and you take something and tuck it down under the frame than it is for you all to, than it is to cut it too short. So we're just gonna take this backer off. Give me a minute. I will say, it is a little tricky to get this off of there, and I don't know why. There we go. Nakia, how have you been? How is your job? I know that's why you've not been able to watch us here in the last little bit. So glad to have you back with us. And all of our regulars. I see you guys. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm really trying to push this up against that top piece so there is little to no gaps. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's probably going to be a gap, a little bit of one. Like, I don't care how phenomenal you are at cutting, there still is probably going to be a little bit of a gap. I think I need to, let's see if I can. Don't rip, don't rip, don't rip, don't rip. Oh, look, it didn't rip. Also, not really a lot of residue. I'm gonna put it like just a little bit over top of it maybe, so that there is little to no gap. There we go. That's the key right there. Kind of laying it over top of it. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking my fingernail and I'm pushing it down below that frame. What you can do if you don't have fingernails, we can probably do it this way. And this one right here, I may have to cut it off. And let me grab some tweezers. Beautiful. And then I'm just taking my, sorry, y'all guys couldn't see, I'm taking my weeding tool and I'm using the back of it. And I'm running it along that bottom piece there like that. And also just trying to get any of the bumps out without like completely scratching anything. Boom. Boom. Nancy said, get the spatula, save the nails. Yes, a spatula would work. I can't find ours though right now. So now let's go ahead. Now that one was a clean cut because that was a top one, I'm sure. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure here as well. So I did the same thing, taking the bottom part of what we just cut off. I'm lining it up here. Like this. Seems like it's a little bit off for some reason, but it's okay. I'm going to take my True Control knife. That one's a little uneven, a little bit, but it's okay. I'm going to line it up here, make sure it's straight. Score. Remember, we can't cut all the way through, but we can score that with our paper trimmer. And then we're just going to take our scissors and cut this off here. Then I'm kind of going to come in here and dry fit my tile like this. And once again, it's like this side over here. It's like I cut it at an angle, like it's not straight. Let's trim just a little bit of this off on this side. Now that's a lot better. Okay. So now, same thing. We're taking the backer off. If I can get to it, do it to it. There we go. Beauty. Sorry, I need to catch up on your all's what you guys have been saying. I've been paying attention to what I'm doing. Also, I know I need to grab the spatula, but my nails are on my hands, so I can use those really quickly. Okay, last piece. Now, once again, we saved the tops. So I'm just going to, remember, we always got to take this off. Sandy, you didn't miss too much, but we have been installing our peel and stick tiles onto the front of our thrifted frame. So there is a little bit of measuring that goes into this, and it's kind of important. So if you want to recreate this, you're definitely going to want to go back. But we've not even started in Design Space yet. But honestly, the Design Space part of this project is probably going to be the easier portion. we're just measuring and using some fonts. So I'm first kind of making a line with my True Control knife, measuring that way because I can't measure inside there. And then we're gonna grab this. Brenda, I cut my hair quite a while ago. I've not cut it again, if that's what you're asking. I've not cut it again, but I did color it. Let's just talk about that because, first of all, shout out Allison, my hair girl. Love her to death. My hair, I have a lot of hair, but I have kind of fine hair. So I had grown all of the color out of my hair, and she thought that I needed to bleach it a little bit to quote unquote rough it up. And the toner has kind of washed out. So it does look a little lighter than what I typically like for it to be, but yes, I did. Catch me next week, actually, probably have darker hair back. I'm gonna go get it done again and tone her back down because I like being on the dark side. You all have never seen me blonde, but I went blonde. Blonde's not really for me. Looked a little crazy. Okay. Boom. Here. Now this is going to be the tricky part because we got quite a bit to cut off here. And here is where I think I am. So on this portion, first of all, I'm going to clean up some of my area. I'm going to save these because I remember I need to measure for this bottom piece. So I'm going to save those. Let me grab a trash can real quick. And I'm going to clean up my area because I have a lot going on here and I need some more room because this portion on this side, I'm going to do things a little bit different. I'm actually going to take the backer off of this one and get it laid down and then see how hard it is to actually cut it with the True Control knife once it is laid down. I'm really just curious. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to make sure that I get this lined up. That is the most important part, is getting this right here lined up, and then laying this down like this. Now, this is just an attempt for you guys. So that I can say yay or nay. Like, yes, you can do this. No, don't do this. Okay. So herein lies the issue. Because it is kind of okay, we're going to go ahead you can pull it back up. Surprisingly, does not leave residue. So if you wanted to reuse this sign, you can. But I am going to, so this is, I think I'm going to have a little bit of a gap here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down through here like this. maybe I can save that gap. Okay, we're gonna also hold on to this piece. Maybe I can save this corner piece, maybe I can't. I don't know, but I left it on there. So once again, so I am going to say cutting it while it is not down is definitely easier than trying to take a true control knife and cut it while it is on the actual glass or on the frame. I'm just pressing this down into that corner, kind of into the crevice there of the frame. So I was able to kind of save that corner. You can't see it too bad. And I'm just using, literally I've used a weeding tool, I've used a true control knife. These are reverse tweezers I grabbed. We're crafters. We know we use what we have on hand. And what I have on hand and what my hand grabbed right this time was reverse tweezers. So, we are so close to being done. What do you guys think so far? Is this a little bit harder or easier than you thought it would be? Let me know in the chat. And then of course, on this bottom piece, we do need to make sure that we line this up and cut off this excess on the bottom. Now this one is a little bit trickier because this bottom of this one I'm just going to go ahead, I'm just going to use that one. Now, once again, if you want to recreate this exact project, we've not even gotten into the MGL side of things yet, but if you want to use those fonts, you can start, if you're not part of the MGL Plus membership, not part of the MGL family, we would love to have you. But you can sign up for our $7 trial membership. Now right here, I'm just kind of making a score line where I need to cut, and then I'm just going to cut this edge off. I'm going to cut a little bit more than what I just scored, just to be on the safe side. But go ahead and check out our $7 trial membership so that you can get your hands on these super amazing fonts that we're going to be using today. Okay, so I do think I still need to maybe trim off just a tad bit more. So I guess I was right with what I did first. Like this. Beautiful. Susan, if you wanted to, you could just take it apart and install it on the glass and then put it back. My only concern is, actually, with this one, I would have to completely tear it apart. And if you want me to be real honest, I just don't feel like tearing this apart. So, that is why we're just doing it on the front of the glass. Taking that off. Boom. We have our tile installed. Now what you may want to do is go back over and just make sure that it is secured down everywhere. It looks really good. So now we're going to start the actual design process inside of Cricut Design Space with using our Maker's Gonna Learn fonts. But before we do that, I'm gonna measure the area that I want to place the name. Now this is gonna be one where we're more than likely going to have to, if you are using 12 by 12 permanent vinyl, we're probably going to have to piece together the name. So for this one, it said the Stellings. Let me bring it back in here. So this one says the Stellings. You're probably going, like I said, if you're using 12 by 12 pieces of permanent vinyl like this one, you're going to have to break these two down into two separate mats. But we can line them up, no problem. I'll show you exactly how to do that. So let's go ahead and hop over into Design Space. I did get my measurements. I think I want this one to go at least 16 inches across, leaving 3 tiles on either side. So, but before we actually get into Design Space, we need to get the fonts that we're going to be using. And the first one that we are going to be using is this one that you see on the screen, and that is Estuary. Estuary is one of our favorite fonts. I adore Estuary. So this was actually Sadie's wedding font, right? One of them. Love it. So to download a font from the Maker's Gonna Learn website, you are going to click this arrow pointing down. That is going to download it, or it's going to put it in your downloads. You still have to install it onto your computer. So what you will have to do is you will click this download button. If you are on a PC, it's a little bit different, but fun fact, we walk you through exactly how to download fonts. If you open up the font, you can pick what operating system you're working on, and we can download from there. But to download a font, you're going to click this arrow pointing down. We're going to double click this download, and then we're going to install it onto our computer. Now, if you already have Cricut Design Space pulled up like we do, we did not have Estuary downloaded. So if I were to go grab a text box right now, come up here to the top and look for Estuary, it's nowhere to be found because Cricut does not recognize any new fonts that you download if it is already open. So what you have to do is, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. What we have to do to recognize those new fonts is we come up here to View, and we're going to reload Design Space. Now, you do have to click Replace. It's kind of scary to click Replace, but it says Estuary is still not there, but I can about guarantee you when I come up here and go to Getaway and go to my system fonts, Estuary is right there. Anyway, the other font that we're going to be using is Pursuit. So same way it's on the Maker's Gonna Learn website. We do already have this one downloaded here, Pursuit. But you are just going to download Estuary and Pursuit. So, and you can see we even have both of ours in 2 separate boxes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. Now I'm going to come over here to my shapes, and I'm going to add a box that is going to represent the size of the area that I have to work with. So I am going to come up here to size. I'm going to unlock the size aspect ratio. I want to do at least 16.5 across, and then from top to bottom, I'm going to fit it within a 7.5 inch box. So height is going to be 7.5. So this is going to represent the area on the tile that I want to put my design, and we'll change it to this blue. And then I'm going to move it back. Bloop. Now let's change our text to white so that we can see it better here and here. And now all we have to do is type in our name. So this one is going to be not the text, the, and then I'm going to duplicate that. Why did it keep the? The Michaels. Beautiful. And then now we can, yep, and this is gonna fit under that 11 and a half. So you do have to make sure that it fits within the 11 and a half. Now, one thing you wanna make sure is to keep both of these text boxes the same font size, okay? So we want to make sure that we keep it the same font size. And another thing with the font pursuit, you do need to come back in here and unite these together once you have everything set exactly how you want to. But if you want my honest opinion, there's something about this CH, this ICH that I'm not really digging right now. So I want to come over here to format. I always forget. And I want to ungroup to letters for just a second because I want to see if I can maybe even move this up away from the I, or do we bring it in? I'm trying to figure out how I want to move this around because ooh. Maybe we rotate it a little bit. Okay. Okay, I don't hate a rotation, but then I'm gonna come over here to this A. And I may even rotate this A a little bit more this way. I know it kind of looks silly right now, but just hear me out, hear me out. The devil is in the details, y'all. I'm telling you what just happened. No, I want to go back. That was silly. Why did it just do that? Okay, we're just going to kind of play around with this, and then I'm going to select the S, and I'm just going to move it out just a tad. Now what I can do is I'm going to select all of these letters here, come down here to combine and unite. And that to me looks better than what it did. I feel like it's not touching that I, the dot of the I. You can even, if we want to, we can come to format. We'll ungroup these to letters. I don't know, we'll see about doing the H and the E and kind of moving it out to separate it from the T a little bit. I almost feel like that's too much. Maybe something more like that. And then we can select the T and then combine and unite that together. Okay. I feel like I like this a lot better than it all just like sitting on top of each other as much. And then down here we'll put established 2025. Is that right? Last year? Okay, that's what I thought. I should have remembered that. Now, another thing that I want to say, Estuary is a very thin font. So I am going to kind of play around with it, and I'm going to come over here to effects, and I'm going to put an offset on it, but I'm going to put the smallest little baby offset on this. Like maybe just go down to 0.02 and apply. And then this offset is now what I'm going to use as my text. And that to me looks a whole lot better. Okay? Carol says, I'm having trouble lately with text boxes in Design Space, trying to get the cursor in the right place. It seems like it has changed. I'm also having to reboot to connect machines. Yes, I have seen that too. You are not crazy. I promise you. I have had to reboot multiple times to connect new machines. Actually, we may have to do it now. Where is our Maker 5? Oh, not. See, I don't want to. I actually have our Maker 5 connected, I thought. Oh, wait, or our Explorer 5. I guess we are connected. It says we're connected Bluetooth, but I swear there is a cord in there. And the text boxes, I have seen issues with text boxes too. Okay, so it's not just you. So now we have all of our pieces ready to go. I'm going to hide this. We're going to get rid of that one because we don't need it. And now we're just going to go to Make It. Now this can all be cut out on one piece of 12 by 12 vinyl, but I am going to separate it out so that I have room to cut them apart. We can even put this one up here and just do it on a 7 by 12 inch piece of vinyl. There is a lot of space over here that we're not going to use, but sometimes it's not even wasteful in my opinion. I just feel like it ensures that you have a really good project, or it ensures that you don't have headaches when it comes to weeding and actually laying your stuff down, okay? So let me grab a Cricut mat here. I'm gonna go ahead and put our vinyl down. I really think that ivory's gonna be beautiful. I wish it was a matte ivory, but beggars can't be choosers, y'all. Beggars cannot be choosers. And I don't know where my brayer is at. So I guess we're using this little guy. Actually, this is what I should have used earlier. I'm so silly. I'll grab every other tool other than the one that I actually probably need. Oh, Nakia said, I said Maker 5. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I don't think for this one you would use an apostrophe because it's just saying the Michaels. Like, it's not a possessive pronoun. It's not like their home. Now, if it was the Michaels' home, then you would use an apostrophe. But if it's just saying the Michaels, the McCoys, the whatever, then it's just an S. Somebody, if I'm wrong, I know somebody out there is going to correct me, so please correct me. Like I said, I've said it once and I'll say it 10 more times. Apostrophes are the bane of my existence when it comes to the English language. It's just never been my favorite. Okay, so we're cutting this on just a premium vinyl setting. Loading this into our machine. I'm going to grab my thing. No need to be sorry, Crystal. I question myself every single time. Every single time. It does not matter how many times I have learned, how many times somebody has told me. I just don't ever remember because I just can't stand it. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's enough. Transfer tape. I'm just cutting off some transfer tape off the roll while that is cutting. Would you be able to cut or score the tiles on the Cricut? If not all at once, maybe in sections. No, I think this material is extremely too thick for the Cricut to even cut or score. Definitely too thick to cut. I don't think that it would be good to score on it. I think this is going to be an X-Acto knife, True Control knife, scissors project when you are cutting the actual tile. But good thinking. Also, I should have checked my cuts, but I didn't. So here we are. We're checking them now. Looks like it cut through perfectly fine. I'm going to grab my True Control knife and cut that off. Also, RIP. Okay, I need to figure out, I need to talk to Sarah at Vinyl and Tool Supply and actually ask her, someone who stocks or has stocked StarCraft vinyl in her store, if they have completely done away with StarCraft vinyl as well, or if 143 just themselves decided to no longer sell it on their website. Anyway, if you guys haven't already checked out the video, I'm sure most of you all that are here has, about the craft industry. Obviously, y'all, I know it's not collapsing. I know and understand that, but it is changing. And I don't know that it's changing for the better for us. I don't know if you all saw, Caesar has been bought out by Stalls, and I'm pretty sure it is just Caesar North America. I don't know about any of the others. They are no longer selling the Juliet. I actually knew that when I recorded the video, but I didn't talk about it because I didn't know that there would be so many people that would bring it up. But they are, everybody that has, all the comments that I have seen, they are correct. They are no longer selling the Juliet. What does that mean? I don't know. They are still selling the Romeo though. Also, I felt very stupid but it's just the facts of it. I truly had not heard of Stalls, and I feel like I definitely should have, but I hadn't. Sue me. It is what it is. But it makes me want to order some. I definitely think that we're gonna order some vinyl from them, or some heat transfer vinyl. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do to line this up. I'm actually going to sorry guys, I'm still getting over a sickness that I had, that I come down with last week. It's been a couple weeks, let me just tell you. It's been a couple weeks for me. Oh no, it's not gonna be long enough because I'm an idiot. Okay, it's fine. We are just going to do the best that we can. And I think I'm gonna put their last name down first. Let me think this through. How do I wanna do this? Do I want to put the name down first? Now, I know that I'm leaving 1, 2, 3 full tiles on this side, and then 1, 2, 3 full tiles on this side. So, yes, let me start with the last name, because I do think the last name is the most important part. So I'm actually going to use my grids here. Let me get my big fat head out of the way real quick. I'm going to use my grids. Excuse my big fat head for just a minute while I line this up. Okay. Can you all see how I lined that grid up with the bottom part of Michael's there? This is just for my transfer tape. I'm going to place this down. Now, here's how I'm going to line this up. So when I measured, I decided that I was using these two main middle pieces, and then I'm going to come from this side 1, 2, 3 over. So this is going to be the end piece here. So I think I want to line it up with that M. You see how the bottom of the M is going to hit like right there on that top line. And then the S beautiful. Just like that. Now you do want to be careful and kind of have a tool to make sure that this gets laid down like this. And you want to keep your transfer tape as close to your vinyl as possible so that it doesn't pull it up. And then we're just going to kind of go back over this like that. The blue tile came from Lowe's. And then now I'm just going to grab the word "the" with that same transfer tape. And 1, 2, 3. Lining it up here. I may even bring it I feel like that's a little further than I thought, but I think it's okay. Thoughts?
I think it's fine.
It's evenly spaced on the sides.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. It's a little bit more spaced out here in the middle than I originally intended, but you can always go back and I just didn't want these edges to be so offset that it looked odd. So now I'm just going to grab the established here, same transfer tape, and this is going to go in the middle. So it's going to go right. Let's see, this is a half, so we'll do. Right here's the middle. Yeah, that "the" is really kind of making me a little mad, but it's fine. It definitely should have been a little closer. But the offset on estuary was a great idea. Yeah, if I wanted to, I could add like a little swirl right there, would maybe be cute. Or if it really just makes you mad, if it bothers you enough, I will say it is super easy to take off the vinyl off of this tile. This would be a pretty good like reusable sign if you really wanted to make it reusable. You could do whatever. We could take it off. We could recut it and just pull the in a little bit closer. I really feel like if I would have just had it, the E end right here, it wouldn't have bothered me as much. But that is our project for today. Actually, when I pull it up, it makes me even madder when I look at it like that. So we're not going to look at that. Here's our sun. Oh, I'm trying to see how she's got her spacing. Maybe I should have made it a little bit bigger. But here's both of them. Beautiful. This one does look better. The spacing is off here. I need to bring the together. And honestly, I could probably have made this a little bit bigger. But either way, I think this is a great way to add a little bit to bring something old back to life. As crafters, I feel like that's one of the things that we love to do is repurpose things. And this is definitely a repurposed frame, turned into a beautiful sign, whether that is a wedding sign, a baby shower sign, a sign to hang in your room, house, whatever you want. I just think it is so cute. And honestly, this would be super darling in any other colors. If it were me, I probably would have gone for the green. I've discovered green is probably, all shades of green is probably one of my favorite colors. Lindsay says, your spacing looks better. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. But you don't have to lie to me to make me feel better. I know it's kind of off. But once again, if you haven't, I can't believe those frames were only $1 or so. Yeah, so we have a local little place here in Morristown. Central Services is what it's called. And at first, I thought it was like, so my mom has worked for DHS, DCS for my whole life pretty much. And when it said, when somebody was like, yeah, I got this at Central Services, I was like, is that like, I don't know. I didn't know what I thought. But it is probably the best little kept secret here. I'm saying it's the best little kept secret on the YouTubes. But we got some super cute stuff. We got that day that we went, we got these frames. We got, we got some overalls and some pants that we're going to be doing a live. Actually, let me just go show you because I'm excited about this. So we're going to be teaching you all how to do appliques. First of all, the little capris that we got, I think are darling, and they're in my size, so hide and watch me wear these. Like, I don't know why, but I love these. I think they're so cute and so fun. But we got these it was 10 for, I want to say it was like either 10 for 10, like 10 pairs of jeans for $10, or it was something absurd. So like we got this for $1, we got these. Look, here, let me just show you. I don't know why I grabbed the fabric. This is what we're going to be doing in an upcoming live. Ah! Look at this, how cute. I just think they're adorable. So we're going to be doing multi-layer little appliques to like freshen up your wardrobe. And we went and got we got a bunch of stuff from the thrift store to do it. Also, I think, yes, I did get a really, really pretty brown and pink floral skirt that I thought would be really cute with some boots. I've not worn it yet, but I will. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Crystal says you can find some great frames at Goodwill and Ollie's. Yes, you definitely can find some really good cheap frames there. But yeah, Donna says you need to add a couple cucumbers. Honestly, if those overalls fit me, which they don't, but if they did fit me, I got those thinking that those would be good for Courtney. But if they were mine, I would put tomatoes, cucumbers, corn, all the different fruits and vegetables, and those would be my gardening overalls. Maybe I'll find some real oversized baggy overalls and do that for like my gardening overalls. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. I cannot wait to see you all, and we'll be back here on the channel next Wednesday.